There's a new book that's been published today in Spanish, and it's called Pope Francis, the Successor, My Memories with Pope Benedict. And it's by a Spanish journalist, Javier Martinez Brocal. Now, if you, just looking at this, it looks like Saint Pope John the 23rd. The Pope has it really does. There's a lot of semblance there. When I read this book, and I just read the interview section of the book, and there's other parts in the book as well. I do recommend you take it out. It looked like, it sounds like, and it reads like church gossip, clerical gossip. And I just thought it's a very sad book. It's a very sad that the Pope descended to this. As you know, as everybody knows, Georg Ganschwein, Pope Benedict's secretary, he published a book just after Pope Benedict died, and Pope Francis wasn't happy. Pope Francis wasn't happy with Cardinal Sarah's book that carried something that Pope Benedict had written. I suppose where this book is going was, you have one pope trying to defend his own papacy in being overshadowed by the papacy of another pope who lived for so long. And now you have the fight. You have two people fighting over the legacy of Pope Benedict. You have Pope Francis saying, well, Pope Benedict defended me. And then you also have Archbishop Ganschwein with his memories. I mean, who knew Pope Benedict better than his own secretary during his whole pontificate and during the years of his retirement? But maybe this is something that popes will have to decide. If you retire, what do they do at the end of the day, going forward in the future? I mean, it's not a good look. I mean, it's just fuel for the fire for those that have been criticizing Pope Francis. It is fuel for the fire. It doesn't do anything to unite the church or anything to strengthen his papacy at all. It really, if we think about it, it's just more fuel for the fire. Especially from church leaders that should be teaching us to love one another as Christ loves us, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. To turn the other cheek. But the Pope isn't capable of doing this. He's not able to actually do what Christ is asking us to do. No, you've attacked me, Georg Ganschwein. You've attacked me, Cardinal Sarah. And here you go. Here's the truth for you. Like, for the Pope to say, well, maybe it was a mistake for me to appoint Cardinal Sarah to the office of divine worship. Wow, really? You're going that low. Praising him, but then said, no, but he became very bitter. He was controlled by external forces. Okay. He was controlled. But Pope Francis isn't controlled by anybody, because as we hear in the book, who elected you? Who's working behind the scenes to get you elected in the first conclave? I mean, tabloid Catholicism on full display, and the Pope has played into it. That's really it. And I don't think the people that the Pope is attacking now are just going to sit by quietly. I think he's going to pour more fuel in the fire. That's really what I think this book is going to do, is pour more fuel on the fire. And maybe the Pope wants this, I don't know. He's called Archbishop Georg Ganschwein a liar. It's there in the book. So, who do we believe? Who is lying to us now? Do you see where the two camps are kind of set now? Because, the Pope has come out to call Archbishop Georg a liar in the book. He lacks humanity as well. I mean, guys, this is just, it's craziness to see what's happening in the church. It is utter craziness. It from the highest levels. And then we're what? Sometimes this is where it's interesting. As Catholic bloggers, they want to kind of poo-poo us down. Sensationalism. You're just sensationalist. You just want clicks. You just want that. And people that voice their opinion about the church, you're kind of shunned. And yet, when the Holy Father does it, you say, he just called in a journalist a couple of months after Pope Benedict has died and said, well, here, I'm setting the legacy. This is the real legacy that you're supposed to take. Not what the Pope's secretary is selling you. The man that lived with Pope Benedict for nearly 2 decades. He didn't know Pope Benedict. I knew the real Pope Benedict. I used to go up to him once every month and sit down for 10 minutes and chat to him. I knew Pope Benedict and he supported me. And this is the legacy you have to read. And don't be listening to the lies that Archbishop Georg is selling you. Wow. Really, Pope Francis? Is this where we have arrived to in Catholic journalism? Really? Really? It is so like Christ now. Because Christ would do the exact same. Wouldn't he? Come here. Journalist, come in here. Sit down. I'm going to tell you the real legacy. Now, okay? So write it down here. I knew John the Baptist better than all these other people. Guys, where have we arrived to in the church? Or is there any other way to read what's going on in the church? And this is what Our Lady warned us about in Akisha. She said, the smoke of Satan will infiltrate into the church. You will see bishops against bishops, cardinals against cardinals. It's very sad. Very sad. The good thing is in the book, it does say that Pope Francis never consulted Pope Benedict about Traditionis Custodes. That's really good. At least we know that Pope Benedict wasn't in agreement there. Because he says it. No, I never consulted him about. He didn't know. So at least we know now. Do you know? Because I find it very sad, to be honest. I really do find it sad. I think that the tone that is in Pope, the tone is just anxious. It's just a Pope that's annoyed, and it really comes across because this book is in Spanish. So you can hear the Pope's own words in Spanish verbatim. It comes across as the Pope was being annoyed. You got him on a bad day. And then he pits the 2 secretaries against each other. Joseph Clemens and Georg Ganschwein. And when I read this, I said, really, Holy Father? You're going there? You're going there? I know Joseph Clemens. I know. I've been to the Vatican a good few times when Joseph Clemens, not when Joseph Clemens was secretary to the Pope. This was afterwards. When he was organizing World Youth Days. And, to see the Pope go where he knows he shouldn't be going. Because he should know better than to start opening up the old wounds again. Why? Guys, this is who we have as Pope. And I just think it's very sad. And so, when there was a this is where we are. This is where we are in the church. Anyway, if the book comes out in English, I do recommend you read it. They have been blogging about it for the last number of days, and it's the Pope trying to reaffirm his legacy in the church. Using Pope Benedict to reaffirm what he is doing, saying that the Pope would have supported civil unions for gay couples. He would have supported this. He did support this. I suppose, do we know now anymore? Anyway, really, where we are at this. But this is where we've arrived in the church. tabloid Catholicism, clerical gossip at the highest levels. You know, it's really sad. It's really sad that the Pope would go where he shouldn't be going. But that's life. Pray for the Pope. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.